Say I have my latest acquisition here. That's right. So I've got my latest acquisition here. Big notepad to do big notes and long notes. But that's going to be a long time, obviously. So you don't need to worry about that. Right, well, as you know, last week, I kept you about the challenge of us doing 15-minute slots, doing 15-minute talks. So, before I start officially, my question is, are you ready for your 15 minutes of film?
Yeah.
Good on you. Good on you. Right, but let me just say this, right? Those of you who go to Rocks all night, you've heard me talk many, many times in the past. If there's one talk from me that you remember this one. Because this one has got some really serious good points in it. I'm not saying that because I prepared, I'm saying that because it's true. Right, I'm not going to read the whole passage, but last week, the passage I was given to talk about was Matthew 10, 5 to 25. Now, really, when I've been reading over this for the since Monday, really, basically, when I've read this, I've been praying about, as I always do, before I do any talking, I say, look, God, here's what I've got to speak on, this is the thing and all that, which you already know. Give me what you want me to say to the people who's going to be there. And basically, a lot of it tonight, it's might not necessarily be obvious when you read the passage, but tonight I'm going to actually speak on discipleship. Because in this passage, if you read, Jesus setting out the 12 disciples for the first time. So really, my first thought of this was, this passage is a culmination before a culmination of Jesus' teaching and discipleship to his disciples. And the word disciple actually does mean trainee or apprentice. If people go to City Church, you might remember that was when they did the big apprenticeship series at the end of last year and into the beginning of this year. But the word culmination, don't know if you know what that means, but the word culmination basically means a result of work. When you renovate a house, you get a culmination of the renovation. And this is a culmination for the big culmination that Jesus had in mind. Basically, a few chapters beforehand, Jesus is out, just minding his own business, walking around looking at fishing boats. And this is where you actually start to see where he picks out the 12 disciples. And he picks out, the thing you notice is he picks out normal people, he picks out the average Joes. He doesn't pick out people who could have like PhDs in theology, because quite frankly, Jesus wouldn't give a toss about that. Forgive me for being crude, but he wouldn't care. So what if you had a PhD in theology? The reason why I picked these guys was because they were on the level of everybody else. They could put forward, Jesus saw potential in them for that when they came to the point in time where they would preach the gospel with Jesus, that they could put it on a level that everybody could understand, which is a major thing when it comes to speaking, to teaching, or anything like that. I once heard a guy say to somebody actually at City Church when he preached, it was like, it was too simple. It was too simple. And the person who was preaching actually responded and said, well, should I put it on a level just for you? Just because you've got somewhat of a higher level understanding of the Bible and the theological principles that some people do have. Basically, what we've got to do is we've got to be able to put it on a level where people are walking off the street who know squat about Christianity, who know squat about what we believe, can understand it, experience the power of Jesus and come to faith. And this is what Jesus has been teaching them. So really, I've got 3 points which I'm going to cover. 2 of which I'll go through a bit quicker, because the last one is the major point I used to try to remember. I've got a lot of stuff to say on that. So the first point is here: do what is needed and use what you've been taught. You read, and you get really, if you want to read this passage, as I said, it's Matthew 10, 5 to 25, and you get the first point from verses 5 through to 13. And you get bits here, I'll just pick out some of this. It says, heal the sick, raise the dead alive, heal people who have leprosy, don't take on any gold or silver or copper coins. And it also says here, when you go to a home, give it your blessing and peace. Just a few little quick points in that one. Basically, look, use the principles I've taught you and do what is needed. You know, when you are going out there, you're not going out to blow my trumpet. You're going out to serve me, to show people the love of God, and to tell them that He exists and that He's real. So that's the first point. That's done. The second point, from verses 14 through to 23, it's not always easy to serve God. If you remember when I just recently did a talk on bullying, I turned around and said that living the life of a Christian is not going to be easy all the time. You will go through hardship, and this is one of the things that Jesus was saying through those verses. He said, look, you're going to encounter crap. People's going to treat you like dirt because you love me and you're serving me. But here's the thing. Don't drop me because people aren't treating you fairly, aren't treating you nice. Don't drop me like a bad habit because of the fact that it's not always easy to serve me. Because if you serve me wholeheartedly, this is said in many different ways of course, but if you serve Jesus wholeheartedly, you serve God with everything you've got, you will be blessed as an end result. So it's not always easy to serve God. And there's the 2 points that could be done. One, truthfully, because I'm absolutely knackered one day, I'm tired out. But mainly, it's not because I'm knackered and tired, but it's because I want to focus on this last point, really predominantly, and simply this. Listen to those who teach you. And you get that in verses 24 and 25. Let's just read that to you quickly. This is from the CV version, which is the transition that, quite funny, I really like when we through, so I pretty much always use this. And it says this in it: disciples are not better than the teacher, and slaves are not better than the master. It is enough for disciples to be like their teacher, and for slaves to be like their master. Now, why do I want to predominantly focus on that? Well, simple. Just use a few illustrations to kind of put forward the points I want to make in this. It's simple. About 4.5 years ago, when I first started to do Rock Solid, folks came in to help out as a junior leader. One of the first things that happened, actually the first thing that happened, was that Jeff and Colin took me under their wing and started to teach me and to help me become a good youth leader. They discipled me in how to do it. I remember quite soon after, within like a month or so, got given the game. Then I got told I was going to do a talk the next week or something like that. It was really quick. And yet, I can honestly say, not to blow my own trumpet, I don't like doing it. I'm not one like to think myself as an arrogant guy. But for my age, I've accomplished a lot in the field of youth work. Was probably the first person to do it professionally in a non-training capacity under 25. That's pretty much a fact. Other people got onto it after me. And I can say the reason why I've accomplished as much as I have is simply for 2 reasons. One, God has given that job to me as my destiny. And the reason why I say that is because I truthfully would have never picked youth work in my life. Considering, well, when I did do the talk on bullying this week, I briefly talked about some of the experience I've had with bullying. And quite frankly, with some of the stuff I went through, probably lucky to be still in church with some of the stuff I've went through. And that's why I believe it's God calling me to it, because I would have never, ever picked to do this. This has been the last thing I've ever thought of doing. And the second point is, simply, I will make a few points on this point, 2 points. And that is simply this. Over the years, when people have mentored me and helped me become a good youth worker and things like that, truthfully, I've been very privileged, because I can honestly say, as I'll say this all the humbleness I can, 2 of the very best youth workers I've ever met are in this very room, referring to Jeff and to Colin. 2 of the very best. And so basically, that's why I'm so good, because they've taken me under their wing and they've molded me into a good youth worker. And so my main point is, listen to those who teach you. Truthfully, Jeff and Colin have done that with me, and they would love to do it with every single person in this room. I know that for a fact. They would love to do it with every single person in this room. And we are all very privileged in here, because we do have 2 of the very best youth workers I've ever met in my life. I'm not saying that to kiss up or anything like that. I'm saying that because I believe it to be true. So that's really why I want to focus on that, because we are privileged enough to Jeffrey Collin here. And that's really what discipleship is really all about, that kind of thing. Again, taken under the wing of someone who's been around a bit longer than you and has more experience. Not the sound, but right. So use all of this, I meant that really evident. But it's being taken under the wing of people who, as far as what you do, what you certainly got in, have done it for longer than you have, and they know what they're doing, know what they're talking about, and they teach you on how to do it. And it's kind of like, if you know, like a domino effect. When you knock one domino over, and you've got them positioned right, they will all go down. Right? Might be a bad example, but it's like if we, Jeffrey can raise up one good youth worker, then I can raise up a good youth worker, and then that guy can raise up a good youth worker. Kind of sort of like that. Maybe not the best example, but that's sort of what it's like. And discipleship, in a lot of ways, is like the concept of tried and untried parenthood. Basically, it's kind of, when you're a parent, obviously I have no experience in this, but when you're a parent, you teach your children how to live their lives right. You try and teach things like don't bully over young people, don't bully over children, don't, like, one of the things I remember often getting taught when I was a kid was don't steal biscuits from the biscuit tin. Right? Because I used to truly sneak into the kitchen when Mum and Dad went around and steal all the bourbons. Right? So like, again, possibly a silly example, but they try and tell you what ways of life is right, because they went through that as well. And young travelers simply just for seeing the way they behave, seeing the way they act, which could be enough of an example on its own. You look at many ways of how you develop as a person. A lot of it is just simply by the company that you keep. Simply by the company that you keep. Some of the quirks I've probably got being picked up from people at schools, when I was at school. Basically, people influence you quite often without even doing anything. And discipleship is all about influencing other people to help them be an influence to other people. The Bible talks often about raising up people to serve God, and we often hear about it here. Raising up a new generation of people to serve God and to make a big example. So really just try and remember what I've said tonight, because it is such a key thing about discipleship. There's one person in particular who doesn't come here because he's through at the church I go to on a Sunday, but he's someone who we quite often just dodge off away from everywhere else. We just talk about our weeks, how they've been, and we also talk about some of the important issues in life. Obviously for guys, it's usually girls. Yeah. True. Hey, girls probably do it as well. That's probably why you sneak off into the toys and groups for. Yeah. Well, not girls, but you know what I mean. But simply, why do I do that with this lad in particular? Not because I think I need to do it. It's because I love him as a brother. He's like a little brother to me, right? Right, this lad. And basically what I want to see is I see a lot of potential in this lad. I want to see him grow in real spiritual faith, real maturity, and be able to make a difference. This lad in particular was actually picked out on one of the videos in church this morning, because he basically encouraged this lad who absolutely hated the church with a passion, wouldn't go to church, wouldn't be seen dead in the church. And yet now he's gone, he's enjoying it, and he's absolutely loving it because of this young lad helping him out, encouraging him. And just remember what I've said. There you go.